Very knowledgeable audience here at the US Open finals and near the finals days, and they know what Sampras is going through.
Thank you.
Rafter 3-2 with a break. Final set.
15 love.
Oh, terrific. I mean, what defence from Rafter. Non pass par.
Well, just have a look at this. Sampras deciding if I can't get around him, I'll go through him. Rafter equal to the task. And the final forehand just wide.
Oh, he's missed it.
30-15.
Well, you just sense those last 2 points, Rafter not really sticking the volley. It's almost as though he's just getting the ball back into play. He feels that's enough. It won't be. Sampras will sting him. He's got to somehow, that's very, very difficult. Stay aggressive. Keep going for it. Keep hitting the ball into the open spaces, making Pete stretch.
Through.
Sampras going for broke on return of serve.
Well, I'm sitting right on that line, and that was awfully close. I wouldn't have liked to call that. But a good call. That ball was really travelling.
Good serving. An anguished hop on his leg from Sampras. And Rafter is just
leads 4-2.
2 games away now. That'll do. Sampras would have needed to have pushed off his left leg then. Didn't bother.
No, this ground backhand pass wasn't hit particularly well. You can see Sampras would have had a pretty good play on it. But you're right, he's got a lunge from the left side to get there.
Good serve, jamming Rafter right in the body. It's now second serve at 30-all.
He does seem a little dispirited though at this point. Not as much fight as there was left in him 15 minutes, half an hour ago.
40-13.
Well, Pat will be annoyed. He's actually made 2 unforced errors in this game. You'd have to class that as an unforced error. In the very first point, he was involved in a rally and he tried to do a bit much with a backhand slice, and he'll be annoyed. He's still very aware of what Sampras is capable of.
That's very good play. So once again, he goes to a chair. I don't think he'll spend long there, but Sampras is still just 1 game behind Green in attendance, but he's not taking injury breaks. Being iced and a bit more treatment there, but courageously pressing on. Just not all that happy, though.
It's a tough area to stretch. It's on the outside of the quadricep, left quadricep.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Players are ready. Please. Fifteen left. Love.
Great return.
It was a good return, but without probably even knowing it, Rafter has come down a lot in terms of his serving speed. Didn't even crack the 100 the last 3 serves.
No, and in that point he didn't even make it, not that one, the one before, he didn't even make it past the service line when the ball had gone past him. That's unusual. Earlier in the match he was closing right in, halfway to the net from the service line.
Game Rafter. Rafter leads 5-3.
The perfect serve if you don't want your opponent to push off his left leg and collect it. Now Sampras serving to stay in the championship. He so badly needed and wanted and yearned for.
Love the game. Wait, please. Behind you. Thank you.
That's screwed wide. Rafter 2 points away. That'll do too. And I would think Pat Rafter, being the sort of guy he is almost now rehearsing compassionate things to say to Pete Sampras. And I'm sure he will. But he's put on a terrific performance, Pat Rafter. 3 match points. And that'll do too. What a lovely way to finish the match.
3 sets to 2. 6-7, 6-4, 2-6, 6-4, 6-3.
And he's in the final again. And Wally Masseur's dream, say something, Wally, has come true.
Well, I feel sorry for Pete Sampras. What a way to lose it. But Pat Rafter, that was not an easy assignment, having to play an injured man who he knew was very, very dangerous. It was just a great effort in concentration. And are we looking forward to tomorrow, Bill?
At least we've got a final tomorrow, because I'm sure if Pete Sampras, courage to the end, but if he'd gone through, I don't think he could have played tomorrow. But tomorrow we've got an all-Australian final, and we have to have Wally Masseur with us.
Yes, it's going to be Rafter against Philippoussis. Thanks very much, fellas out there. Pete Sampras has had 6 straight years with a Grand Slam win with that Wimbledon title. But as far as he is concerned, I'm sure his year is well and truly over now. He decided to deselect himself for the Davis Cup because he's worried about getting injured. We saw tonight why. He's a Formula One engine, and they break down sometimes. And Mark Petchey and Annabelle Croft with me. That's it's not a tragedy, because tragedy is more significant than that, Mark. But it's a real shame because Sampras was chasing a piece of history.
He was, and he just sort of turned it around in the 3rd set and looked as though he'd upped his intensity in the match and was on his way. It's a real shame when anyone ever gets injured. It's just a shame because you can't compete to your full extent. Pat Rafter was just doing enough to win, but again, all credit to Pat. He still had to hit the shots and win the points, and it's not easy when you're playing someone like Pete Sampras at the US Open semi-final stay at Flushing Meadow.
Rafter, 1 slam wonder. Annabelle, McEnroe said Rafter was a 1 slam wonder. Do you think he's eating his words?
Well, I think he'll have to, don't you think?
I think he's favourite now against Philippoussis.
Oh, most definitely. They've played each other at the Canadian Open this year, and it was 3-3 to Rafter, so it puts him in a very good position to keep Mac's mouth shut, I should think.
Yeah, indeed. But that's the situation. Rafter has gone through against Sampras. Sorry to be so subdued, really, but Sampras did hurt himself. This is the results from today. 6-1, 6-4, 5-7, 6-4. A very hard-fought contest between Mark Philippoussis and Carlos Moya. Both those fellas really put out throughout the course of this tournament. Moya way back, saving match points against Chang and going 5 sets against Gamble. Mark Philippoussis, he went through against Henman in the 4th round very, very well, and saved match points against Thomas Johansson. So Philippoussis in his 1st Grand Slam final. But the big thing today, really, Lindsay Davenport finally not only gets to a Grand Slam final, but wins it when she's there against the defending champion Martina Hingis, 6-3, 7-5. Lindsay enters the Grand Slam winner's circle, and many congratulations to her. She didn't lose a set all tournament. And the 2nd men's semi-final, the highlight of the day for many, despite that women's final, it has to be said, didn't really pan out that way. Disappointment for Sampras, 6-7, 6-4, 2-6, 6-4, 6-3. Pat Rafter goes through. Mark, Rafter against Philippoussis. Bit of feeling between them?
I should think so. Philippoussis has wanted this title after Rafter won a Grand Slam last year, and it's just ironic that he has to play Rafter in the final again. Rafter wants to defend, like we were just saying about McEnroe eating his words. It's going to be a good contest.
And ironic that Pat Cash is working with Mark Philippoussis. The mantle has truly been passed to those two. Now we're on at 8:30 on Sky Sports 2 with the men's final. Patrick Rafter against Mark Philippoussis, live and exclusive, 8:30 on Sky Sports 2. It just remains for me to thank Annabelle Croft very much indeed. And Mark, you're going to be substituted tomorrow.
I am.
By the long, tall Peter Fleming. Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure working with you. Well, that's it for the day. Pete Sampras disappointing against Pat Rafter. Philippoussis has gone through. It's an all-Aussie final for the first time since 1970. But the great news is that Lindsay Davenport has won her 1st Grand Slam final. Good night.
American Airlines.